So he went to the doctor that signed off with depression so that his income actually went up. He's sick.
Hey, quickly, I can see you make a statement rather than a question.
Just to go back to the thresholds of inheritance tax. Lee, you mentioned that you're happy with it going up to $1 million, but then you said that you're not happy with the inheritance tax anyway. Why don't you propose to get rid of it completely? I mean, for me, quite frankly, redistribution of wealth is important, and that is one of the ways in which it's done. I know house prices are going up. I know my house is not worth £1 million. I don't know about yours, but you know, that's I think is an important issue for everyone.
Well, we have had an answer from all of them about redistribution of wealth, and I think we'll leave that. Has anybody got a topic, another topic, over the other side? I said we ought to use the younger people as well.
So Wilson Chowdhury. Quick query is pensioners. They are some of the most vulnerable people in the borough, any borough you go to. It's disturbing to see how many of them suffer from not being able to pay bills, not being able to support themselves, and the meagre pittance that they receive from a pension. How would you assist this vulnerable group?
One of the things I'm already doing is looking for departments, pensioners, such as the Department of Children. So all the services are under one umbrella group, and there's a reduction in duplicity, there's more efficiency, there's economies of scale. That will hopefully loosen up some, you're shaking your head, that will hopefully reduce the waste and give some more revenue. But it does have to be looked at. They are a vulnerable group and it does have to be looked at.
Alex?
On pensioners, as I said last Monday, some of you may be there, life starts as pensioner life. Of childhood, we woke up with mad, whatever we play, toys. There's no life. This child's life, there's no life. And work time, work age, from 17 to 55, we are working like a machine, and there is no life. Life starts when we retire. And liberal democratic philosophy, I believes life should be respected. And on this regard, the Lib Dem have found out 2.3 million people are disadvantaged from the system. To this effect, it has planned, calculated, and completed, and funded a policy to help the pension people on this range. Finally, on pensioners issue, the Lib Dem have a policy to stop mandatory compulsory retirement. Because nowadays, some of us are at 65, but energetic enough even than a young man who is 40 years old, because of the lifestyles we have changed. Some people may be 55, but they are as active enough as a 35 lad or less. So there should not be any compulsory retirement, that's what they Lib Dem believes. If you have the energy to do something, why shouldn't you be allowed? And I, having had experience in traveling a lot, as I said earlier on, I know from a country where I have seen pensioners, after they get pension, if they want to work something else, they are not taxed at all. And I'm going to introduce that policy through my party to you, Ilford people, or the UK at large.
Thank you, Ryan. Let's move on to Robert. Go down the line.
I'm more able to say what I feel and what I think than some of the other politicians here, because they represent parties and they've got party lines. And so I'm going to tell you absolutely what I think. In 20-odd years' time, the average Western democracy will be bankrupt if it continues to offer the same pension obligations as it has now. That means to say that Western democracy as we know it, if it continues on its present path, will end within 20 years. In the 19th century, there were thousands of little friendly societies that grew up where people supported themselves. And they, with dignity, they went in, looked after themselves, elected their own representatives, and saw to care and needy. Why should a 60-year-old who is healthy be drawing a pension which the state cannot afford when they could be out working and adding to society? What is it when we've got such an advance in the age? The average age now is approaching 80 or even sometimes 90. Why shouldn't we re-evaluate what a pensioner is? This isn't saying to you, don't enjoy your retirement and you shouldn't be cared for in a civilised society, which I hope you will be. But when are we going to stop saying that the state does everything? What about us? Where can we work? Maybe we should work to we're 70. Maybe that's okay. But why should we expect the state to pay for everything? If Western democracy collapses under the burden of debt, then we'll all be eating out of troughs, more like pigs than we will like human beings, because of our reliance on a state. We need to rely on ourselves and grow up.
Thank you, Rob. Lee.
The first thing, Wilson, we need to do is restore a link with earnings. Yes, before anyone else points it out, it was Margaret Thatcher that stopped it, but we have had 13 years of a Labour government who could have brought it back at any time with a majority they've enjoyed, but haven't done so. Restore the link in pensions, that's the first thing. The second thing is, Redbridge has shown the way by showing a 0% increase in council tax this year. In our manifesto we have said that will continue for further years and there will be 0% rises. So therefore that would help along the way as well. Fewer means tested, don't make pensioners jump through hoops so that they're dignified, don't take away people's dignity. And when people have given their entire lives to us, we owe them something as well. So let's give that back to them.
Who's going to pay for it?
Finally, to
Who's going to
Caroline.
pay for it? We all are. We can't.
It's not a dialogue on the platform, thank you.
Figures show that over 20% of pensioners are living in poverty, and we in the Green Party think that that is totally unacceptable. We have a clear pledge in our manifesto, which is fully costed, that we would raise pension levels to £170 per week for a single person, and that is costed. We would, again, we would keep the link with, we would bring back the link to earnings, and we would do away with pension credits so that people could have some savings and didn't have to sort of scrabble around filling in forms. In addition, our other policies on insulation we think would be really beneficial for pensioners so they don't find themselves living in fuel poverty, on local community, on public transport. I think they're all very positive policies for pensioners.
Thank you. There was a question at the front.
Let me first of all say that I retired at the age of 47 and I'm not drawing any sort of government responsibility. I saw a comment a while ago which said that the way things have gone over the last 50 years is that the government have applied less and less control over the market through deregulation, laissez-faire and all that, and the big corporations, multinationals, more or less do what they please. Whereas for individuals, we're becoming more and more controlled by the state. ID cards are one example. Do you think that's the right way round?
So this time with Lee.
Well, you know that I voted against ID cards. I don't believe ID cards are a benefit to anybody whatsoever. I believe passionately in the money. If the government think they're such a wonderful thing, then give them to us, don't charge us for them. But nonetheless, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. There's far too much central control. We need to trickle things down to local authorities so that they have power over their own destiny. Because, you know, whether it's Redbridge, Havering, anywhere else in our country, they do what central government tells them. Or they lose some of their funding. Or they get taken. Give you one example, a planning application that was made, as we all know, for the old BAE site in Leigh Street. Redbridge turned it down. They were fined £125,000 in cost for doing so when it went to Bristol. This isn't right. Let local people be involved and make local decisions.
Caroline.
I may be a little bit confused here, but I do seem to remember it was the Tory government that did take a lot of power away from local people, and actually the Green Party, we do want to give it back to local people, and I totally agree with the point that the gentleman made over there. You know, the Green Party has been saying for some time before the financial crisis that this casino capitalism was out of control.